Today on Inquirer, in vowing to safeguard freedom of information, President Bongbong Marcos denounces fake news.
Fake news should have no place in modern society.
Phivolcs says Mayon volcano's unrest may last for at least 3 months. LRT lines 1 and 2 to implement fare hike starting August 2. And the Washington Wizards send all-star guard Bradley Beal to the Phoenix Suns. Good evening. President Bongbong Marcos vows to uphold freedom of information as he denounces fake news. To tell us more, here's Jean Mangaluz reporting live. Jean?
There's no place for fake news in modern society, said President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. During the International Conference of Information Commissioners, Marcos Jr. vowed to uphold freedom of information, acknowledging its benefits in the government's campaign against misinformation and disinformation in the country. The president said that the government will initiate a media and information literacy campaign in line with the FOI.
Like everyone here, we too recognize as a matter of principle that fake news should have no place in modern society.
According to the president, the principles of the FOI have been integrated into the Philippine Development Plan for 2023 to streamline and digitize access to information. He urged all branches of the government to genuinely uphold and give effect to the people's freedom of information. In May, however, Malacanang announced that it had placed more restrictions on the FOI directive of former President Rodrigo Duterte. Exceptions to the FOI now include information regarding national security, as well as information pertaining to the safety of minors. In addition to this, independent fact-checker Check PH found that Marcos Jr. had largely benefited from the proliferation of fake news during the 2022 elections. That's it from me, Neil. Back to you.
That's Jean Mangaluz reporting live. An official of the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology says Mayon volcano's unrest is seen to possibly continue for at least 3 months. John Eric Mendoza has the report.
The unrest in Mayon volcano may last for at least 3 months. That is according to Dr. Teresito Bacolcol, Director of the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or Phivolcs. Bacolcol said Mayon's activity is similar to the 2014 eruption, which also lasted for at least 3 months. The state volcanologist official said residents within the permanent danger zone have no choice but to stay in evacuation centers within the said period. Bacolcol noted that no people should be within the 6-kilometer permanent danger zone in the first place. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council on Monday said a total of 20,127 people have been evacuated due to Mayon volcano's unrest. Phivolcs on Monday said Mayon volcano recorded no volcanic earthquakes from 5 a.m. on June 18 to 5 a.m. on June 19, but 265 rockfall events were logged and 889 tons of sulfur dioxide were emitted by the volcano. Mayon volcano has been under alert level 3 since June 8 due to potential explosive activity happening within days or weeks. For INQUIRER.net, this is John Eric Mendoza.
The Department of Transportation announces the implementation of a fare hike in lines 1 and 2 of the light rail transit effective August 2. According to the DOTr, the LRT1 and LRT2's minimum boarding fee would be adjusted to 13 pesos and 29 centavos from 11 pesos. Meanwhile, the distance fare for every kilometer traveled will increase to 1 peso and 21 centavos per kilometer from 1 peso per kilometer. DOTr Assistant Secretary Georgette Aquino says the new rate is set to enhance the services, amenities, and technical capacities of the LRT1 and LRT2 in line with the government's agenda to improve public transport infrastructure. The Philippine Coast Guard reports that a Chinese Navy vessel shadowed a Philippine ship some 11 kilometers off Pag-asa Island in the West Philippine Sea last week. According to the PCG, on June 15, the Chinese vessel came as close to a nautical mile from BRP Francisco Dagohoy. The two ships exchanged radio challenges, and the Filipino vessel asserted that it was sailing within Pag-asa Island's territorial waters. The Chinese ship stopped following the Philippine vessel when they were around 18.5 kilometers from the island. The PCG manned ship had come from a mission on Pag-asa Island to provide the fishing community with fishing gear and post-harvest equipment. The Philippines, the United States, and Japan have agreed over the weekend to increase combined maritime activities in the West Philippine Sea. National Security Advisor Eduardo Año and his counterparts from the US and Japan made the announcement after their first trilateral meeting on Friday. A joint readout says the three officials highlighted the importance of a free and open maritime order amid unilateral attempts to change the status quo by force or coercion. They also agreed to convene more trilateral exchanges over the next months to further expand cooperation and information sharing. The Coast Guards of the three countries held their first joint exercises in the West Philippine Sea earlier this month. During the meeting, the three security officials reaffirmed the importance of such activities. Washington and Tokyo are not claimants in the South China Sea, but they have repeatedly expressed concerns over China's muscle flexing in the region, including the West Philippine Sea and Taiwan. Motorists will get a slight reprieve this week as oil companies announce minimal cuts in the price of petroleum products effective Tuesday, June 20. The price of gasoline would decline by 35 centavos per liter and diesel by 10 centavos per liter. Meanwhile, kerosene will decrease by 30 centavos per liter. Last week, oil prices increased by as much as 1 peso and 40 centavos per liter. The elderly woman from Ecuador who woke up inside a coffin. The elderly woman from Ecuador who woke up inside a coffin at her own wake is now confirmed dead, according to local authorities. Her son said she had been banging on the inside of the casket, desperate to get out as her relatives warned her. Following the wake, the woman was kept in the hospital but died of a stroke on Friday, according to the regional health department. Ecuador's health ministry has ordered a probe into how she was declared dead in error the first time. Local news reports say the old woman suffered from a condition called catalepsy, in which a person loses sensation and consciousness and the body becomes rigid. Three-time NBA All-Star guard Bradley Beal will join the Phoenix Suns in a trade that will send Chris Paul to Washington, according to multiple reports. The deal reportedly will also include guard Landry Shamet, a handful of NBA draft picks, and multiple draft pick swaps, with final pick details yet to be settled. Beal would join Kevin Durant and Devin Booker to revive the Suns' hopes of winning their first NBA title. The 29-year-old guard has played his entire 11-year NBA career with the Wizards, averaging 22.1 points, 2.3 assists, 1 rebound, and 1 steal in a game. Meanwhile, Paul has averaged 17.9 points, 9.5 assists, 4.5 rebounds, and 2.1 steals in a game over 18 NBA campaigns. Alamin naman natin ang mainit na balita sa mundo ng showbiz kasama si Irvin Santiago ng Bandera. Irvin?
Hi Neil at sa lahat ng mga kabandera natin all over the universe. Ito na nga ang latest Bandera Chika. Feeling heartbroken din ang kapuso comedian at beauty queen na si Herlyn Bodol nang magpaalam ang iconic trio na sina Tito Sotto, Dick Soto at Joey De Leon sa Itbulaga ng GMA7. Sa katunayan, super cry pa raw siya nang mapanood ang farewell announcement ng TVJ kasamang iba pang original dabarkad sa producer ng longest running noontime show sa bansa, ang Tape Incorporated. May chika namang inalok daw siya ng Tape para maging regular host ng bagong Itbulaga, pero ang balita nga ay tinanggihan niya ang naturang offer. Kinumpirma ng komedyana na totoong kinukuha siya na maging host ng bagong Itbulaga pero hindi niya ito tinanggap dahil sa dami ng projects na kanyang ginagawa. Pero willing daw siyang tanggapin ang offer kung maluwag na ang kanyang schedule. Ngunit mabilis niyang nilinaw na napakalaki ng pagrespeto niya kina Tito, Vic, and Joey. Wala naman daw siyang naramdamang panghihinayang na napalagpas niya ang pagkakataong maging bahagi ng bagong Itbulaga na pinangungunahan ngayon ni Paulo Contis, Betong Sumaya at Buboy Villar.
May mga current commitment po ako sa iba na kailangan pong tapusin. After po nito, why not po? Na, so open pa rin kayo? Opo, sobrang happy po ako kung sakali po. Pero nire-respeto ko siyempre ang TVJ. Umiyak ho ako noong time na yun.
Bakit ka umiyak?
Siyempre, simula bata ho ako, hindi pa, utot pa lang ho ako, nandyan na sila. Sobrang nung nawala sila, umiyak ho ako. Talagang parang feeling ko na heartbroken din po talaga ako.
At yan ang Bandera Chika natin today. Thanks, Neil.
Maraming salamat to Irvin, and these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.